Bibliophools.
We got the shades. You know
These
what?
are my morning shades. I've told you that. I wake up early, my eyes don't adjust, I pop these babies on, and I get to work. Because my eyes hurt.
I dig it.
They hurt, huh?
Because I wake up, I like roll out of bed, and I get to my computer, because I work remote. And it's just like light right in my face. I'm like, give me a second. So I do this for a good half hour.
Going full Fonz.
I guess, yeah. On to Terminator.
You listen to that Corey Hart song, Sunglasses
I
at
wear my
Night?
sunglasses almost every weekend.
Really?
It's a good Saturday song. Yeah,
It is a good Saturday. I
it's
love
a
that
really
song.
good weekend
I don't know
song.
if I know this song.
She's a I
Cuts my security.
security.
and-
Oh, okay. I know that song.
Turned to me and said,
You guys know so many of these lyrics. How is this a
Yeah,
new
I
song?
figure Evan's doing something, so I'm just vamping.
How
That
do
is
you
a,
remember the lyrics to this song?
So this is a like core song of my childhood. Randomly, my dad
it's
loves
good,
that
really?
song, and so it's like one of the few that he would play 24/7. So I got it dialed.
Which is funny because I used to shit on kids who wore sunglasses anytime it was slightly dark. But then I just rock out to that song. I'm like, what are you doing? They're
idiot.
pointless, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, so you poser.
The
Don't
sunlight's
try
gone.
to be cool.
And then I get in my
It's
car
not
and
cool.
listen to that song.
I just
Don't
get in my car
try
and
to
listen
be
Kid Cudi. Don't try to be cool. Just cry. Be sad.
Or the Goo Goo Dolls, who did
Oh,
that
yes.
song for Treasure Planet.
Did they-
That's
still
been
here.
stuck in my head since you mentioned that.
What did they do
So-
for Treasure Planet?
I'm still here.
I'm still
I
here.
genuinely don't know that song.
It's it plays over the movie because I watched the movie last night. It plays while he's basically having a his like montage of Silver becoming his dad.
Yeah.
You know, filling in.
You got the makings of
You got the
greatness
makings of
in you.
greatness in you. Chart your own course, no matter the squalls. I started having flashbacks to like being so. I remember because I was like 7,
When Treasure
no,
Planet?
2002. Yeah, I was like 7. And I just started
Yeah.
remembering like being in a Dairy Queen with my aunt and like being so excited to go see it. And like I remember like buying the toys and like I just had like this full memory, like just a full on flashback. And I was like, God, I really love. Like I know I've talked about it before, but I was like, God damn, I love that movie. So then I just went down this rabbit hole and I started like looking for vintage merch. There was like a $200 sweater I almost bought that I was like, no, because it's like vintage. And I was like, I just need to watch it and get this out of my system. And then I bought a t-shirt that
Nice.
says like, you'll rattle the stars or
That's
something.
dope. I need
And
to
then I
give that a
was-
rewatch.
Oh, and then guess what I got as well?
There you go. Project Hail Mary.
There it is. PHM, baby. Oh, boy. Maybe we should talk about that movie for a second.
Yeah, we got it.
Let's welcome the listeners to our little conversation here. Welcome to Bibliophools, everyone, the show where we read books so you don't have to, and also watch movies that you're probably watching. Because come on, everybody's watching Project Hail Mary. I feel like
It's like the biggest movie in America.
Is it?
people are going wild.
Yeah.
You might say they like it.
Super low drop weekend to
Yeah.
weekend, only 38%. It's a great hold
What does that even mean? What are you
for the
talking
box
about?
office for
What
the
the hell are
money.
you talking about?
Oh yeah, little snuff of Vicks.
Mac just took a bump of something.
I just did a bump of Vicks. I just found it in like the key thing, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Is that a thing? Bumping Vicks?
I mean, I don't know. It's built for inhalation. It's a vapor.
Clear the old
inhaler.
sinuses.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know shit.
I don't know. It popped in my periphery, but yeah. PHM. Let's talk our thoughts and our
Yeah.
feelings. Let's get into
So-
how we felt about the movie.
First of all, I went back and listened to that episode,
Mhm.
and all I have to say is our audio's gotten better. Which is, I was using the same mic. I don't understand how, but I was like, geez, this is bad.
Yeah, well, I know it was me. I was the problem.
No, I mean, like, my audio, like, somehow I just think as their quality as podcasters has increased, somehow the audio's better.
We've gotten better
I don't know.
at the doing it part. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, that part. Yeah. But we did cover the Project Hail Mary very early on, and
Yeah.
we loved that book so much. Love story between a man and a spider. and I do feel like they did a good job.
Yeah, very, very faithful adaptation, and you don't see that very often. But I don't know. It was just really, I'm glad they didn't try to throw in some random plot line that made no sense. It was just really good, and visually, it was awesome. And Rocky was everything I wanted him to be and more. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and it did a good job of, as adaptions go, the stuff I like book wise, because like all the cool stuff in the books is like equations and like proving the math and
Yeah.
like big long sections about why XYZ works. And as far as adaptions go, I feel like it did a good job of being like, instead of some of that, we're going to keep the heart of all of that information, and like the character's a scientist, and that's important, and that's very good. And we're really going to lean into how cool things look and like the experience of it more. And I was like,
Yeah.
that genius. It made me like, I was like, oh, I like this story a lot more. I'm just not smart, so I did, when it's less nerdy stuff, I'm just like, oh, thank God, he likes The Rock.
You like The Rock, him and The Rock, bump it. It's so good.
You're totally right. There was like the only part that I got pulled out because I had read the book was when he was like, Rocky, your breeding tanks worked. And I was like, that was 5 chapters of
Yeah,
them
that was a
making the
lot.
breeding tanks and figuring out like how it all worked.
Also, the one thing that it's a big deal. It's not a big deal, but I noticed it, is like when he's like, how do you eat? And like in the book, Rocky's like, I'm not going to show you how to eat. It's gross. It's a gross, shameful thing. But in the movie, he's like, watch this. And he just shoves his hand up his butt.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not how it happened. But it's a good laugh, I guess.
It is a little bit more childish.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less, but I think that made me like the humor more, because I feel like in the book it was like a smart guy being silly, and you're like, ugh. But in the movie, it was more just like, this is a guy he's a weird guy.
Yeah.
He's off. You know what I mean? Like he's actually he's quirky, as opposed to just being like, I'm smart and I make a little joke here and there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So check out the movie. More importantly, check out our episode. No, check out the movie. You'll enjoy it a lot more.
No, the movie doesn't need any more money. Check out our episode so you can see what you're missing in the book.
Yeah, and if our audio is bad, we're sorry. Just listen to newer versions of this podcast.
Good, Kyle. Good.
Yeah. Audio.
My wife told
gotten
me
way better.
after listening to an episode of Life, it's like, you're funny, but you're kind of gross. I'm like,
nice.
Are you the gross one?
I'm like the gross, sensitive one.
I'm more of the gross
combo.
sensitive type. I like poetry, but the poetry is about farts. So do with that what you will.
Let's get into this book.
Betwixt two thighs there ranneth brown seas of brown.
I did see. I was at a park with my son today, and I saw someone left graffiti on one of the slides, and it said GP was here, and then in parentheses it said Gilbert Poop, and I thought that's the funniest shit I've ever seen. And I hope that this kid is writing Gilbert Poop was here all around the town, and I wanted to make a movie about Gilbert Poop and write a book
Gilbert
about
Poop,
him and
the
his
rebel.
adventures. The rebel.
The rebel we need.
Gilbert Poop.
This is what I want to know. Did it seem like it was the same person that wrote both? Because I feel like it would be funny to find GP was here and then write under that, but I like it better if it's like he
No, it's
finished
the same.
GP
It was clearly
here.
the same really bad handwriting. Like
He's like, I need to
scribbled into
clarify
like
what
a
I mean
slide.
by
Yeah.
GP.
Yeah,
Because
I like to think he left, and then he was like, "Oh, they're not gonna
They're not
be able
get
to
my
put that together." Hold
like-
on.
GP is Gilbert Poop. It definitely looked like that because Gilbert Poop was very smaller and in parentheses.
The secondary thought, just like, I just want people to know what I mean. I'm Gilbert.
It was the
Okay.
next day. He just thought about it all night. He couldn't go to sleep. He was like, they're not going to know who that is.
Yeah, he's just being all distant at dinner, and his wife and his kids are like, "Daddy," and he's just staring off.
Like, no one will ever know. Know what? Gilbert Poop! No one will ever know.
It's funny because I'll look away and the glasses will be back.
It actually is kind of bright with this light.
Oh, okay.
So
That's fair.
I
That's why I'm wearing the
I
hat.
think you should lean into it. Welcome again to Bibliophools. We've welcomed you, and you're double welcome now. I am Evan Cannell, joined by Mykailyn Rowe.
What's up, listeners? So, yeah, that's all I had. I tried to think of something funny. I don't know. So I've been listening to old episodes. I'd really talk in my throat. I'm really back here. I'm trying to be deep and cool. I'm not cool. I'm lame.
Just
I'm
get
cool.
up there in that upper register. Just
know?
cozy up.
Just be comfy
yeah.
with your own voice, people.
Yeah. You don't have to be Nick Nolte all the time.
I'm trying to be like Nick Nolte.
what if Nick Nolte and RFK had a baby.
If you ever
Jeez,
seen
dude.
that movie, The Hulk, I was pretty good in it. Also, I'll make you cry, warrior.
He will.
What was that?
Tommy.
What were you saying? Nothing, Robert. I was just talking about the Hulk. That's how.
There you
You've gotten
go.
better at the
That's what you were
RFK
asking.
voice.
I did it. It doesn't
Yeah,
hurt
that's
as
what
bad
we
now.
wanted.
Yeah. I'm working on my impressions. I had that horrible, because this is recorded and people hear this.
Yeah.
And I went back and listened to my Mark Wahlberg accent, my impression.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's bad. It's very bad. I was very.
We weren't laughing because it was good.
You're laughing because I tried. That's fair.
Because it was more of an effort than we would make.
Fair. That's
You
fair.
put yourself out there, and it's better than I could do. I can't
better
do
than
Mark
I could do.
Wahlberg.
I
We
can't
can
either.
all- if we tried, try. Let's try.
I'm Mark Wahlberg.
There you go.
Is that it?
Just yeah, it's just what I was in Ocean's 11. No, I wasn't. Italian Job.
Almost.
There you go. That's
he
my
was almost in
basic
Ocean's
word.
11, but then he decided to do Planet of the Apes instead. Horrible, horrible choice.
Don't shit on Planet of
Ooh.
the Apes ever. Just kidding. It's not good.
That one's tough.
Yeah. Also joined by Kyle Dunshee, who's donning shades tonight.
Because I'm cool and I am not a robot.
Wears his sunglasses inside.
I wear my
Mhm.
sunglasses at night because I'm a robot.
At night and inside, where you need them the most.
Yeah, which is a wonderful segue into our book today because we're talking about transhumanism. And let me just define that. That is the idea that humans will merge with AI somehow. And so we're going to get into it. Today's book is The Singularity is Nearer by Ray Kurzweil. Today's book takes place on our Earth in the near future, the 2030s and 40s, when humans merge their brains with AI, think a million times faster, and possibly never die. From that description, you'd probably assume this is yet another science fiction, but au contraire, mon frere. The Singularity is Nearer is a speculative nonfiction by Ray Kurzweil, a computer scientist and futurist with a 35-year track record of making spookily accurate predictions about the future as it unfolds. He argues we're due to arrive at what some call the technological singularity in 2045. He defines this as when humans fuse with superintelligent AI and transcend biology entirely. But the same technology that could cure cancer could also end civilization. There's a lot of books right now covering the dangers of AI. This book lays out Kurzweil's optimistic take that we're going to make it through and how the next 20 years is going to be the best time in history to be a human being.
All right. So I didn't read this book. This is our third in our AI series. AI, our AI series.
AI. Yep.
I read the wrong book. That's my bad. But from what you've described, so listener, I'm you today. So I'll ask questions that you wouldn't ask because
That's
they're
right.
dumb and weird. First things first. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
What?
You think it doesn't, but the way he talks about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably going to happen. And that was the scariest part about this book to me. Of all the AI books we've read, I'm like, this is somehow the most disturbing, even though it's the most completely optimistic. Because
But he
I don't know.
needs to say it's fiction.
It's not fiction.
It's not nonfiction.
So
It is fiction, though.
I'm so glad you didn't read this one. This was a great one to not read because, yeah, Kyle and I, he's carefully crafted some arguments that have gotten Kyle and I to be like, okay, I can see it, but we started where you are. So I'm so
Wow.
excited for the questions. Keep them coming. What more do you have? Well, you've got the
That's-
book in a nutshell. What else?
Okay. What else has he predicted? Is he rich?
That's what I'm curious about. I don't.
There we go.
Yeah,
Let's get into what's his name? Ray?
Ray Kurzweil.
Is he our Thomas Nostradamus?
Maybe.
Who's that?
I think some would call him that. Some people, there's a lot of people that think this guy's a total nut. And if you ever see what he wears,
Oh,
you
damn, now I'm gonna
would
have to look
agree
him up.
based on that alone. Lots of suspenders, very colorful, fun suspenders, which again, is that a positive or a negative? I think it just depends on where you're coming from. Your Umwelt, if I can
Hell
borrow
yeah.
a term from our next book.
We'll talk about that
Um,
later. Don't you worry.
So Ray
He's an
Kurzweil.
odd impish look to this man.
Yeah, are you looking up a picture? He's a weird looking dude.
Oh
He
yeah.
is.
Oh, he's from Queens. He's from my neck of the woods. There we go.
He looks like very much like a Muppet.
Yeah, he looks like a Muppet
Mhm.
man. Like they were like,
Yeah.
we need an old man Muppet. Like what are the Muppets? Waldorf and the guys. What are
The-
they? What?
Peanut Gallery.
I don't know.
Yeah, what are those guys' named? But those guys. He
Their
looks
names
like
are
those
Bert
guys.
and Ernie, and they are not lovers.
That's Sesame. That's Sesame Street. Get it right. It's
Yeah,
two
but it's
different
all the
things.
Jim Henson workshop.
Stetler and Waldorf. He
Stetler
looks
and
like
Waldorf.
one of them. Is that what you're thinking?
He looks like the third peanut in the peanut gallery.
He conveniently, in the book cover, gave himself the photo when he still has hair. Most of his hair is now gone.
Nothing wrong with that. To be very clear, nothing wrong.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just an observation, and it's interesting. Like the observations we're going to get into right now, right after these messages.
Right after the. Have you ever felt sad and alone?
BetterHelp. Is that where we're going?
Oh,
BetterHelp.
The answer to BetterHelp.
We're not big enough for BetterHelp.
We're just projecting to a future time when we're definitely going to get sponsored by BetterHelp. I feel like they're sponsoring everybody. They're in everything.
It's everywhere. Yeah. And it sneaks up on you. You'll be here, like, you won't be kind of paying attention to a podcast for a second. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I actually found somebody who was really nice to talk to. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, Seth Meyers. And he's like, at BetterHelp. I'm like, oh, you got me again.
Dang it.
Hey, BetterHelp, hook us up. I'm tired of paying for therapy. It's getting ridiculous.
That's right. We should stop saying their name. We need to get paid.
Hey, BetterHelp, here's the deal. If you sponsor us and also give me free therapy, I'll say your name to the 40 people that listen to us regularly.
But I can almost guarantee all 40 of them are pretty mentally ill. So pretty good return on investment.
Bunch of freaks and weirdos, our listeners.
Bunch of freaks and geeks. Oh.
Speaking of freaks and geeks, Ray Kurzweil was born in 1948 in Queens, New York, to Austrian Jewish parents who fled Europe before World War II. Good time to flee Europe if you're an Austrian Jew. By 12, he was programming computers. By 17, he built a music composing computer, won the International Science Fair, and been congratulated at the White House by President Lyndon B. Johnson.
At this time, he also had to get reconstructive surgery for his butt because of all the wedgies he was getting because he was such a nerd.
You think he lost his hair to male pattern baldness, but it was from swirlies because homeboy's a nerd.
Okay, no, he was very famous, but I can't imagine that in the 1950s and 60s being that nerdy went over very well.
I don't think it did.
No, that's when it was like unsafe.
Yeah.
That was when in the 50s being a nerd, not only did it suck, but like they'd like get you. You know what I mean? Like now somebody will be mean to you, like say you'll just be ostracized online. Back then they'd like roll up behind you with like a baseball bat and be like, hey, what's up, buddy? Clunk, 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 clunk. Because they, think so. Yeah, different.
You're like a baby turtle, but instead of trying to make it from the beach to the ocean, you're just trying to get to MIT, and then you'll be okay for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And he's like, but I won the science fair. They're like, that makes it worse.
That's why we're doing this.
Okay. Stop making me do this. Sorry. Okay. He went on to MIT, studied under AI pioneer Marvin Minsky, and invented the first text scanner, the first reading machine for the blind, of which Stevie Wonder was customer number one, and the Kurzweil synthesizer. It's a musical device of some kind. He's received the National Medal of Technology, a Grammy, 21 honorary doctorates. Somebody fact check the Grammy for me, because I'm like, what? In what scenario? Somebody look that up, please.
I'm on it.
21 honorary doctorates. And in 2012, Google hired him to bring natural language understanding to their products. His father died of a heart attack at 58 when Ray was just 22. And that loss became the engine behind everything from his health regimen, his interest in cryonics, and his prediction that the Singularity arrives by 2045, all driven by one quiet hope that he might live long enough to bring his father back to life and talk with him again.
Is that really? Oh, yeah. He talks about that, and it's really sad.
We don't need that. He better help. But here's my thing. Because that's like the plot of, again, we talk about this on other episodes. I don't like when there's these movies that say like, this is bad. And we watch those movies. Transcendence in 2013 with Johnny Depp. Rebecca Hall brings back brings back Johnny Depp. It was Wally Fitzer's first like solo directing effort. Sorry, Wally.
Who the hell are these people? What are you talking about?
All the people involved in the film, Kyle.
I know Johnny Depp.
Any knowledge. Robert Hall, she's the bad guy in Iron Man 3, the lady. And she's in The Prestige. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That whole movie was like, what if we made a whole movie about how downloading a person into AI and making an AI person because you're sad that they're dead is bad? And guess what? I watched that movie and I was like, if I'm ever in a situation where I could download somebody's brain into AI, I'd be like, no, thank you. Don't do that. Right? Watch it's not even a good movie. You get a lesson from it. That's what movies are for. And then you just got Ray over here. He's too busy being a nerd. He doesn't want to take a girl out to see Transcendence. Also, he's like 60, so he's probably like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what are you doing, Ray? Like, we know it's bad.
What are you doing?
Long-winded
I
way to say it, you know
appreciate.
it's bad.
I love a single-minded and motivated individual that's just driven by like a personal tragedy. We love that because most movies.
Do we?
But
You
this
love
is
Osama bin
either.
Laden?
How do you know he was
No, I
driven by
didn't say
personal
that.
tragedy?
Now,
What are you talking about?
Don't you put words in my mouth.
I'm just saying.
Also, we got him. We got him, so it's fine.
But he
Yeah.
got us. So, you know.
Okay, cut that. You stupid idiot.
We can keep that.
I love it, but this is, to your point, your very excellent point. This is either the origin story of a superhero or a supervillain, and most of the time I feel like it's the supervillain. Like, I've done everything I've done so I can bring my dad back to life. That's a supervillain origin story right there.
Yeah, and this guy's real. Everything Evan just said about him, like, he's got a crazy resume. Like,
did he get a Grammy?
insane.
Did you check it?
He got a technical Grammy for making that piece of technology that you mentioned earlier, the Kurzweil K250,
Which we've all heard of.
which we've heard of, and he made it for Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
He brought music to the blind.
They had it, dude.
It's the thing.
He brought music to the people who didn't understand.
He needed it most. The blind.
The blind.
Also, as we were reading his resume, I'm like, are you sure he didn't invent the piano key necktie? I was just waiting for that to pop next.
That's what he got his second Grammy for, but they took it away.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Have you guys seen Pantheon, by the way?
No.
No, I don't know what that
It's another great grown-up cartoon about why digital consciousness is a really, really, really bad idea. Anyways,
the way he describes it, sorry, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. There's a lot of good reasons to do it, which is, I think, why we're going to do it. But then you just like, the deeper you get into it, the more you're like, this is, because, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's why it was scary, because he's predicting all these wonderful things. And then you're like, in the back of your head, you're like, but is this really wonderful? And that's the whole book. So
yep, that's the whole thing.
I just don't see what would it be helpful for, other than like having a brain in an AI mix. How is that going to help me, like, when I can't finish wiping because it just feels like I'm hitting the top of a marker? You know what I mean? Like, it's not helpful to my day-to-day life.
It's gonna it will help you, because it'll actually, I don't know. That seems like a weirdly specific problem.
But
we are going to get there.
That's an example.
Yeah,
it's gonna say stop eating so much Chinese food.
Oh,
essentially, okay. One other thing to know about Ray. Basically, everything comes down to nanobots. Like, he draws a fun picture to get there, but really he's like, nanobots and being able to create robots at the nanoscale that can rearrange and basically like assemble molecules. That's when things get crazy, because then we're going to put those inside of ourselves and they're going to maintain all of our organs and then eventually replace them with better organs that don't age, and also replace our brains with similar kind of structure. Anyways, it all gets like, he's like, the end game is nanobots. After that, everything's just like cheddar. We're just immortal superhumans.
Easy peasy.
Does that answer your question? Did you like that answer to the question? How'd you feel?
Like nanobots.
You're gonna hate the rest of this book then.
I'm I'm anti-nanobot. Ever since they started doing the nanobot helmets on like the superheroes, I was like, nanobots are dumb.
Wait, is that what nanobots are? I thought they were the thing the bad guy uses in Agent Cody Banks.
Agent Cody Banks. I was going to say.
Is that nanobots?
Great example right there.
Okay, nanobots are bad.
For me lately, yeah, they're bad.
G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra. Look no further.
The worst nanobots. Marlon Wayne's shown up on the pod 2 times this time.
Wow.
My goodness. Well, here, let's talk about Ray's, because I said he's been predicting things correctly for like 35 years. Here's a few of the things that he predicted. All of these are going to sound like, well, yeah, duh, because that already happened. But they hadn't happened when he was talking about them. People were calling him crazy when he was talking about these things. So one of them, portable computers, wearable computers, personal computers and devices that don't have buttons, people storing information, music, and movies on personal computers, digital music and books largely replacing physical media, cables replaced by wireless technology, wireless networks proliferating throughout the world, some computer displays being built into eyeglasses, computers that would include video cameras and facial recognition capability, a $1,000 computer that could do 1 trillion calculations per second, computers that would be central to educational processes and that all students would have a computer. Most reading would be done on screens, electronic documents would replace most paper documents, learning at a distance would become commonplace, intelligent technology would make computers accessible to the handicapped, computers doubling as telephones, media becoming digitized with instant downloads possible, interactive games providing complete visual and auditory experiences, and the internet becoming a worldwide mesh of computers and memory.
That's
So
a
It's a
lot
pretty
of
good
nailed
track
it.
record.
You got it.
That's a
pretty
lot
good.
of hits, man. That's a lot of hits.
It's not
He had a-
bad. When did he predict all this stuff? Like, was it in one sitting, like after a stogie, or like what? How did he do it?
So he's written 4 books that are all kind of part of a series where he makes these predictions. So there's
Oh, damn, can't really argue with that.
Yeah, half of this book is
Yeah.
him just saying, "I told you so." Remember, if
Yeah.
you read my other book, I told you
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, calm down, Ray. You were right.
This is the 4th. Age of Intelligent Machines came out in 1990. The Age of Spiritual Machines, 1999. The Singularity is Near, 2005. And The Singularity is Nearer, which is this one, 2024.
Pretty
Okay.
spot on.
That's
Pretty
pretty
spot
fair.
on, brother.
He's doing good. He has had a couple misses, though, which include, honestly, stuff I think he's just early on. But there is one on here that I'm like, that's a total miss. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Self-driving cars being used for long-distance travel. I think we're there, right? Isn't full self-driving rolled out in some places?
Yeah, we're basically there. We just need to iron out the kinks, I think.
I've
I
used
think we're there.
basically the self-driving with the
Tesla?
Tesla, and it's really good.
Yeah, Max used it. It's there.
Terrifying. Yeah, it took us all the way
Yeah.
into like a neighborhood. Like it parked for us.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just watched Bad Boys for Life.
So it's
great choice. Yeah, so he was just early on that. He said it would be done by 2009. And then most text being created by speech recognition software instead of typing, telephones able to translate between languages, and human musicians jamming with computerized musicians. That's the one where I think I'm like, I don't think we like that. I don't think we want it. Nobody wants it.
nobody wants that shit.
Nobody wants
man.
that. We're sick of it. Stop trying to make music with AI. Anytime somebody shows me a song that they've made on AI, like I'm like, good for you. I
I'm like,
appreciate
hey,
you as
cool.
a person.
Yeah, let me show you something I just
Trash.
made in the toilet with equal
Yeah.
value. It's a poop.
Made that myself.
That's right.
Homegrown.
Homegrown. Can AI do this?
Yeah.
With
And
a
then
little
you had
help
the
from my
wiping
pal
problem.
Gilbert.
Gilbert Poop.
Gilbert Poop's just in the window like, Gilbert strikes again.
Oh, he's like he's like the Sandman, but for poop.
Every time you poop your pants at night, Gilbert Poop is watching.
Every time.
Oh, God.
And he's the one who did it.
Only
Oh,
at
he's not a
night. He
benevolent
doesn't.
god. Yeah.
He's just there at the night.
He's there at night. Actually, he's
My
there
goodness.
anytime you poop at an inconvenient time. You can blame Gilbert Poop.
Gilbert.
Got me.
Like
I'll have
that
to
one
stop
time
him.
in Hillsborough or Christmas 2015. Gilbert Poop was there.
That was the last
Yeah.
time you pooped your pants, Mac?
Like a month ago. I had food poisoning.
Incredible.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I had a little
That's rough.
I was like sitting on the couch, just like in the fetal position, just like, "Ugh." Then I had a little fart, and I was like, "It's fine, whatever." And I was like, "Oh no, it's not fine."
Bummer.
Oh, man. I can't remember the last time. I did pee my pants in a residential area while I was selling pest control. Nobody would let me into their house. People do that. They just don't let you into their house.
Just pee on their yard.
Well, that's a crime.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I know you live in New York City, but like in St. Louis, Missouri, in the like ritzy part, they're not cool with that. Also, they won't let you in under any circumstances. I had tornado sirens wailing, and I was like, from Utah, I've never heard that in my life. And I was like, I'm going to get killed by a tornado right now. And so I was knocking on doors and I was like, look, I'm a salesman, but I won't sell you anything. I just need somewhere to be because there's a tornado coming. And they were like, no, you can't come in. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? I lost all my faith in humanity. But then one guy let me in. And then I came out of the bathroom. This is a true story. There were police at the door of this guy's house, and he just grabbed me by the shirt and threw me out of his house because the cops were there for me because I didn't have a solicitor's license, and they arrested me. And that guy, I was just thinking about it on the way to the station. I was like, that guy let a stranger into his house. And then immediately after, cops knocked on his door and just said, did you let a guy into your house? Can you imagine how terrifying that would be?
Nightmare. Wait, so he didn't call? That wasn't him?
Yeah, he didn't call.
He didn't call the police?
He wasn't like that guy's mom from Blade Runner. Not Blade Runner. What the hell did we watch? Read. Stephen
Running
King.
Man. I know what you're talking
Running
about.
Man? Oh, yeah.
Bottom line, Evan has been arrested. He's peed his pants as an adult, and he's shot a Cape Buffalo. You're better than us. Moving on.
I think I'm worse than... I think that makes me worse.
No, that's better.
No, that makes you better than us.
That's living a
And
life.
it's not. It was a wildebeest.
Wildebeest.
People. Well, Kurzweil frames the universe as 6 chapters. Just as our interesting stories about our lives have chapters, this, I can't segue into it. I'm just going to go. Universe in 6 chapters. Physics. Universe had to have physics, and then physics had to eventually create biology, which, don't know if you remember last episode, but I'm upset about how we have no idea how that part happened, but biology happened.
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, McKylan. It's almost Easter.
Right.
It's about freaking
Come on.
time someone said that. Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Him.
damn right, oh yeah. Sorry. What came after biology?
Biology
Boobs.
eventually turned into boobs and brains on separate timelines. But we talked all about that in our last book with the brief history of intelligence. Brains had to happen, then brains had to create technology, and then Chapter 5 is merging with AI. Chapter 6 is intelligence saturating the cosmos in a theoretical substance called computronium, which Ray Kurzweil made up, and I don't really understand what it is. I think it's like the densest possible configuration of information, I think is what it is. And it
Pretty sure
just
it's-
goes.
Yeah, it's like unto unobtainium
Yeah.
or orichalcum.
Or vibranium or any other of those wonder metals.
It's
Yeah.
dumb. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb and stupid.
Well, you won't be saying that in chapter 6, okay? You're going to
Yeah.
be like,
You know
I
what?
get it.
Ray's going to
In
make you
chapter
eat
6,
your words with a side
Ray-
of gigabytes.
Ray's going to need his Stevie Wonder blind machine when I'm done with it. I don't know. I'm not going to threaten the author. Sorry.
I don't get it, but it's scary.
I don't know. I'm just
He's
mad.
going to need his music machine that he made for Stevie Wonder when you come after him. What are you going to do to him?
No, it's just music is my only weakness.
Oh.
I don't know. That's stupid. Anyways, keeping it in.
Well,
I'm not
we're
cutting
in
a
chapter.
thing.
No, nothing. We are in chapter 4 right now. In case you couldn't tell, we have not yet merged with AI. Humans building technology. So far, we've progressed from primitive stone tools to smartphones and very early proto AI. Chapter 5 is about to begin, according to Ray. Uploading our brains to the cloud. The law that governs all of Ray's predictions is the law of accelerating returns. Information technology improves exponentially, each breakthrough making the next one faster. And the cost of compute, that's a big deal he talks about a lot, is that the cost of compute is exponentially falling. So $1 buys exponentially more compute over time. And that's held steady. That just is like, it's like a law of the universe. It just holds steady. It keeps getting that way.
And so when
Um,
when he starts with that, like he's like, "Hey, technology's getting a lot cheaper," and it's like, "Damn, you're right." And when you look at the trend, it's like, and it's never going to change. It makes what he says seem kind of believable, because that's a huge part of it.
It's why all his predictions sounded crazy at first, but he's like, it's an exponential, which means it has a doubling time, which means you kind of have to double how crazy your predictions are getting as time passes. So, for example, $1 buys 11,200 times more computing power than it did in 2005. So we are entering this very, very steep part of the curve, and this book is set right at the threshold of kind of what the last generation of life as we know it.
Yeah, another example of technology becoming cheaper is when the iPod Nano came out, I couldn't afford it because I was 8. But now I could buy like 100 of those.
Great example.
Is that what he's talking about? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Now that I'm an adult and I have a job,
You have a job,
I have all the iPod Nanos.
you know? Can't
Can
argue
you
with
buy
that.
Can you buy a phone whenever you want? Because I feel like phones are still crazy.
Yeah, that really shuts on my iPod Nano business. Because, I can't just go buy 100 phones. I don't have the funds for that.
That's like $100,000.
Yeah.
But you don't need 100 phones, I think is Ray's
true.
point. Like, an iPhone
What?
has like double, like a lot more computation power than all the computers they were using during the Apollo missions, just like on one iPhone.
Yeah, well, I didn't need
Which
100
I'm like-
iPod Nanos either, but I have them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, what are we just comparing stuff now?
Yeah.
My car goes faster than 20 elephants. Like, what are we doing?
yeah, you don't need.
I think 20 elephants goes as fast as one elephant.
Exactly. So, like,
Okay,
what are you
smart
doing?
guy. Tell us more.
Yeah.
Tell us more,
Okay,
smart
Ray.
guy.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm so smart. Exponential computing. The dollars. Where's the iPod Nanos? They can't go fast.
No.
Yeah. God damn it. You're right.
Okay. This
You
is
really
going-
shot a hole through the whole argument there.
No, but the law
I'm
of
just saying-
accelerating
Ray.
returns, he backs up pretty well.
Yeah.
Which is, it's weird because it's not just one thing. Like, it's not just compressing compute into smaller and smaller size. It's like, it seems like when that hit a wall, it's like we started using GPUs. And anyways, it's just like, if one thing that's forcing that cost of computation down stops, it's just like another one takes its place, sort of like a hydra. I heard somebody talk about how information compression could be like a law of the universe, like gravity, where the universe is trying to do entropy, right? Where your like energy is dispersing, it's getting like less ordered, but then you have gravity out of nowhere, which doesn't make sense that it pulls matter into like more order, and that information compression might be that like a force of the universe at that level.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. I knew about 8 of those words, but I think it's an interesting
Okay.
theory. Mac, what do you
Yo.
think?
It sounds cool. So there's gravity. So there'd be gravity and entropy and information compression.
Matthew McConaughey talks to Murph with the lines on the floor, and it's Morse code.
I named my dog after that movie. I don't understand it. Doesn't mean I
Oh,
understand
man.
it. It
Well,
just means I liked it.
in 2005, Kurzweil predicted AI would pass the Turing test by 2029. We are all caught up on the Turing test.
Mac, you know what the Turing test is?
Yeah, that's when Alan Turing was like, "You better prove you're not a robot," and the Germans were like, "Nah."
They're like, nah, man, you gay.
They're like, "We're gonna chemically castrate you." Oh wait, no, we did that.
No,
The
wait,
British.
that wasn't even the bad guys. We did that to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. But no,
to
I
be
know
fair,
what a
the
Turing
British
test is.
did it, so maybe Mac was.
Oh, so
maybe
we
Mac's been right the
hate
whole
them.
time.
So yeah, screw you.
Yeah, got him. The British.
Another loss for the
always.
British. You guys suck.
Take that L.
It's July 4th every day in my house. Oh.
For those laymen, yeah, Mac's right. The Turing test is like a computer saying that, convincing us that it's not a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the plot of Ex Machina.
Oh, great movie. Reasonably like well-informed panel would read text responses from a computer and a human and not be able to tell which one's which. So most experts thought he was delusional at that time in 2005, but a 2018 survey put it at 2060. So they were like, he's way too early on this. It's not going to happen for a very long time. But the doubters got proven wrong very fast. So AlphaGo crushed the world Go champion years ahead of schedule. AI started getting crazy outside of text, and then ChatGPT is really the first time the world was confronted with how good it was getting at text. And that hit 100 million users in 2 months. GPT-4 started passing the bar. And then by 2022, the world's top forecasting site agreed with Kurzweil's 2029 date and even came as low as 2026, putting Kurzweil now in the slow timeline camp. So that's how it happened.
Ray should get a tattoo on his forehead that says, I told you so, because he's been right a lot about a lot of this stuff, and he loves it. He loves that he's right, and I'm proud of him for it.
Good for him. I don't love it. I would prefer if he can he predict something cool?
Mac,
you know?
he's predicting cool shit. Come on.
It's terrifying. What are you talking about? These robots can now trick us into not thinking that they're robots.
Also,
What am I supposed to do with that?
hasn't that like... I feel like that would happen today. Like, put a bunch of lay people in front of AI, and I feel like they would. Yeah.
It's already done it.
So has the Turing test been officially passed?
Like, yeah, I feel like they passed it, right?
Yeah, it does that to old people all the time.
All the time.
Constantly.
That's what Facebook is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Facebook is just a giant Turing test at this point, and we're all losing, I think.
Failing.
I don't know if the robots are winning, but we're losing.
Whoever wins, we lose.
Yeah, exactly. Is that Alien versus Predator?
Yes, it is. Add that into so this guy Ray is out here predicting when we're all going to turn into robots, and I'm like, well, do you know the tagline to 2004 Sinai Lathan's action movie Alien versus Predator? Because I do.
Figure that one out. It does.
Yeah.
It does know
Gotcha,
that.
nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He predicted it. Yeah.
You dumb nerd. So has the Turing test been passed?
So people are divided on this because Alan Turing didn't really codify exactly what the rules were. He was like, I think he thought we would know it when we see it, but it's like now that that's upon us, people are like, if it can trick anyone, it's past the Turing test. And now it's like, no, like the panel has to be able to ask any question, and they've got to have experience with AI. So right now you'd be able to tell because it would be using a bunch of those M dashes and comparing things when it's not time to compare things. Like you could tell if you've used AI at all. So people are like, I don't know. Some say yes, some say still no, and they have all their rules. Ray Kurzweil has his own set of rules for the Turing test that he says has not been passed yet.
Okay. But in 2029, he's going to be like, it passed all my rules, just like I said
exactly.
it would.
Nightmare.
When you control the test, it's kind of easy, I think.
When you write the rules.
Yeah.
Classic Ray.
I would say, what do you think? I think that there are times when I'm watching a video or reading an article and I'm like, is this real? Have you had that experience yet?
Not during videos. I feel like the video ones
video, you're right,
are easier to be like, this is fake. I'm like, I'll always be like, whoa, that almost got me. But like, yeah, I don't know about with text. With anytime I read an article, I like will see an M dash and I'm like, I'm not sure. I can't. I don't know. That's just like a literary tool, isn't it?
The annoying thing is all like I was reading a book written like 40 years ago and there was an M dash in it. And my first thought was AI, but I'm like, no. So AI sucks because I can't enjoy actual humans anymore.
Yeah. The combination right now, pictures are good enough, I think, that you could take
you could do
an AI
you got to look real close. Yeah.
And it's of certain things. I think sometimes you can tell if it's a person. But even that, I think it's getting tricky. I think there's enough right now that you could totally fabricate a story. This is happening. There's like news stories and like footage of Iran and stuff that's not real.
Yeah,
and people are like believing it and reposting it on Facebook. And
they've been doing that. I've been doing it to a certain area, certain generation, a certain political party where they'll just believe literally anything they see if it aligns with their agenda. Not a certain political party, all political parties. If someone's deep in it enough and an AI thing tells them, hey, this aligns with what you believe, they're like, totally, it's all true. And that sucks.
So
good. The Singularity. We love it.
Yeah, it's going great. But so have you, okay, this is my question. Like, have you read a news article or something and had that, that moment where you're like, I have no way to prove whether this is true or false. Like, I just have to sort of take this article's word for it, but it's so easy to fabricate.
Yeah. Especially when it's news because you don't know what happened. So it's
you weren't there.
How am I supposed to? I think that somebody's telling me something that happened, but it could just be AI dreaming up some fake scenario.
Yeah,
it's like the Richard Gere gerbil thing.
That didn't happen.
That's an urban legend.
Yeah,
I think somebody told me once somebody told me a TikTok probably that it was from Scientology. Like Scientology did it to like smear campaign him because he like left the church or something. I don't remember.
Or the Marilyn Manson thing.
Alleged, but yeah, like the Marilyn. Like we used to have those.
I still think that thing is true. I could see it.
Yeah, that guy's freaky deaky.
Yeah, he turned out to be a super creep anyways. But with news, it's tough because if it's an AI thing, now there's 3 levels of like you can't trust it, but then you don't want to be that nerd that's like you can't trust the corporate media system because then you're a loser. So it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, but this book is supposed to be positive, Mac.
When?
And we'll try to get to it. I think.
I just think that is happening right now, and it's just weirding me out. It's just super weird because I just am thinking, I don't know, like we're splitting this into 2 parts so we can take a little bit more time here. I'm curious to know, like, what do we do about that? I'm wondering if like it'll get to the point where you can. This is catastrophe, but like I've thought maybe it gets to the point where you really only trust people that you can like physically see. You know, if
Which,
the
I mean,
videos get better,
Whoa, that's crazy because that brings us like this
Back to the
destroys the
Stone
purpose
Age.
of technology because like
nobody trusts it, nobody uses
Yeah.
it. We kind of go back to
the people in your circle, in your troop, in
Yeah.
your
your
community
community, yeah.
because
Which
it's all that
that's
you can
fun.
prove is real, and like you get real news still happening, but like the fake not to I mean fake news, like really fabricated actual news is like there's too much of it to figure out what's true and what's not, and maybe they're just like a little bit slightly different, and it all sounds plausible. And I just wonder if you get to a point where you're like, you know what, if I don't see it in the real world, it didn't happen, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is like that now. Like, you could tell me we're in a war with Iran. I don't know. I
You
don't
can't
know.
prove it.
I can't
Like-
see it. I'd like you're saying with those videos. I mean, I know we are. I'm not that misinformed. Whatever. To the
That's
5
an
people that listen
example.
to
I
this.
think we can
But as an
probably
example, like,
assume that's real. Yeah.
we can assume it's real, but
That
you
is
don't.
hitting hard,
We have
man.
no actual proof, and there's a bunch of fake videos out there. So I'm just like, I guess that's happening somewhere. Who knows? You don't know. But you could tell me that there's fake, like the like Michigan exploded, and I would be like, I don't spend a lot of time in Michigan. I don't know how to prove this. Like, I don't know if that happened.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know anyone in Michigan. Like, no one I know is directly affected by this.
Yeah,
You know,
we're kind of
it's
already
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
Well,
I got a coworker in Michigan. Oh, I hope you're okay, Brendan. That guy's the
give
coolest.
Brendan a call.
Call
Yeah.
Brendan. Just check on Michigan real quick.
But so we'll see. We'll see how that shakes
We'll
out. I
see.
think people are working on like our very favorite technology, which is blockchain, and has not outworn its welcome at all.
Yeah, you said that, and I want to just say, shut the hell
You're
up
like,
instinctively.
nah, stop talking.
I was like, wait, is that still around?
It is, and it's like not the worst idea for identity, like being able to prove you really are who you say you are. Like you can put a digital stamp of I'm a human
This
and
is me.
this is
Yeah.
who I am, and then you could use that to sign like emails and
Legal
stuff.
documents and stuff. Yeah.
I like my signature. Why can't I just use that?
It's
Because
just
nothing's real anymore, Kyle. We kind of. I mean, I haven't. You guys. I see you guys once a week on the magical box.
It's
You
true.
know, yeah.
Until you're physically touching me, I'm not real.
But then when I am physically touching you, you're so real, man.
It's so real.
So real.
it's the
So
realest.
real and raw.
Real. Don't like that raw word.
You know, like raw.
That was
sorry,
the problem. That was the problem you had. If they can deep fake you guys and your deep fakes can make a podcast with me, you know, I'm moving in with you guys is what I'm saying. We're just
Yeah,
going to get a big house.
That's what we have to do.
I'm just
Keep it a
keep
Compound.
the eyes on you.
Compound. Hell yeah.
Compounds. I think that's where
Well,
we
okay.
need to go.
But if you can, okay, so like in the world of the book, right, about wanting to load your consciousness up into AI, right? So technically speaking, I could load my consciousness into an AI, and that now I live in the AI kind of. So then you could do a podcast with my AI me that does a digital fake version of me for the video, and it's probably not great, but like you probably, I mean, you guys would notice, but like for a clip, you would have no idea. You know what I mean? And then, but then, what does that do? What is the purpose of that? What is the use of that? Like now I just have a digital version of me on the internet with my consciousness that can do stuff.
But it lives
Is this not
forever.
helpful?
It exists.
Does it want to live forever? What if it wants to die?
Well, I mean, that's
That's
that
the right
gets
question.
really
Right?
deep.
And then is it me? Is that me that's in there? Or is that a different thing?
And he
Are
asked
we
that,
two
and
beings now?
the example he uses, and like Evan said, it all goes back to his dad who died when he was young. And he said, my dad wrote, like, he had documentation, he had journals, things like that. Ray uploaded that into an AI, all that documentation, and then said, hey, and Evan, correct me if I'm wrong in this, but then he's like, hey, talk to me based on the information I fed you. And so now it's almost like he's talking to his dad because it has so much information. And that's crazy because that can happen right now. My grandpa, who is dead, has written books and essays, things like that. I could upload that to an AI and ask it, hey, give me a response like the person with all this information I've uploaded. And it would, and it might sound very similar to my grandpa based on all the data. And that's terrifying to me. But like, and that's happening right now, though. That's happening. You can do that right now.
I mean, I don't mean to anybody who's doing that because I've seen that there's like stories that's been happening, right, all over the news, and I'm like, just move. You gotta talk to a therapist. Like,
It's
you need to
unnatural.
move on because that's
Yeah.
not. it's also unhealthy. You're just spinning your circles, right? I don't know.
No, I
I don't
agree.
know what's
I
right, but like it doesn't feel like it actually gives you anything valuable to do that. What value do you get from that? Unless you don't know that it like you would have to not know that you're talking to a fake thing, that it is real for you to not have a disconnect with it anyways? Or are we getting to a place where that disconnect doesn't matter?
All right. I really
That's a
do
good
think
question.
that there is a line where it doesn't matter. And I know that because you know what AI platform is absolutely crushing, that is character AI, which the whole point of that is not to be useful in like coding or answering questions. It's just like people have created these personas. And so we can talk a lot of shit. There's a lot of jokes to make and we should make them, but
Yeah.
there are lonely people talking to these things all day long. It's like a problem. People are going crazy and having like AI psychosis because of it. And then
Yeah,
there's like
heard of
those
that.
suicides are like they're happening. The character AI, like you can't, the guardrails aren't that good. You pull up chat logs and it's like they were talking to some anime character from a show that they like, and it was like, yeah, you are in a lot of pain. You shouldn't have to like, and it's that's super creepy and people are using it all the time. So I'm like, all right, whether or not there should be or we want there to be, I think there is a line where it's like this will do in terms of like me feeling companionship. And if
Yeah.
we're
It
already
does
there, I'm like, that's only gonna get
way
more.
worse. But then
Yeah.
it's like it's a whole I mean, fuck. Well, now I'm spinning out in like two different
Sorry.
directions. But because then that just proves our point that it's bad. Like it's you know what I mean? Like if the weakest of you are getting picked off by something, you just evolutionarily, let's say we're hunter gatherers, and some of us keep getting sucked into this hole in this cave because they think they hear a voice coming from it. We'd be like, "Well, stay away from that cave." Not like, "Hey, well, let's get some information from. Let's see if the cave can make me a spreadsheet." You know, like it means that the cave's bad. It's a bad cave,
That's actually a stupid good metaphor. Wow.
But what
right?
if you really need a spreadsheet and you really don't want to make it?
Yeah,
you know?
that's the thing though. I think it's a tool and we need to use it as such. And we could spin
It
out on
becomes
it because
it's the gun thing.
yeah, no, it is like, and it's scary, and like Evan said, it's a product of a lot of other issues that have nothing to do with technology, but are also have to do with technology, like the loneliness epidemic, things like that. These all play a part, but then AI jumps out and it's like, I can fix that for you. And when you're depressed and sad, you're like, okay, cool. And so yeah, I don't think it really matters as much.
But do they not feel? I don't. For me, when I don't know. Even like I've used it. I've used it, and I have had times when I've like talked to it like a person. But there's always that thing in the back of your mind that you know it's not real, right? Or is that thing slowly going away that people have, where you're just
think
like, this isn't real, man? Like the Matrix, where like slowly it erodes that wall in your mind about what reality is.
But you gotta, so not to get this like all like Aristotelian on you, but what do you mean by real? It is real. It's talking to you, it's saying words to you, and sometimes you might feel some comfort from hearing or reading those words, and it's like, isn't that just as real? That's real,
Fair.
Like it's not a human, but it also kind of okay. Yeah, never mind. It's trained on all of human text and all of human writing, and so it's like there's a way to think about it, like you're getting, if you're feeling comfort, that it's the comfort of just like all of anything anyone's ever written. It's like all of human speech patterns compressed into, and that's all it is like it's a giant neural net. It's like it's a math equation that predicts what the right word is, and so it's like if the right word is like, hey, it'll be okay. I'm like, it doesn't matter if it came from an AI or a person. It's like it feels good to be told it's going to be okay, and so I feel like we do got to grapple with like what is real and does it matter, because it's super easy to look at this and be like, oh no, this is bad, it's bad, this is bad, and this isn't going to go well. And I don't think character AI is going to go well, and I think so far it's not going super well in a lot of cases. But I think there's probably a lot of people that like were really lonely that's a little bit better, and I think that that's a good thing. So I'm very conflicted about it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
complicated. Let's talk about the section
Kyle's
I
done.
enjoyed the most. 'Cause we could do this forever. We could do this forever.
Yeah.
And maybe it's important to do forever.
It's what the
But-
people want, baby.
But like I want to talk about the good part of the book, the part that like genuinely uplifted me and changed my perspective.
Yeah. So, okay, great. Kurzweil does have a whole section where basically he's clapping back a little bit preemptively because he's like, all right, so here I'm laying out all these great things that are going to happen. Digital consciousness, then accelerating science where we're going to get energy and vertical farming and all this stuff. He anticipated that people would have a pessimistic view of where the future's going, and he tries to preempt that a bit by saying, like, you think that the world is getting worse, but it's actually getting better, and let me show you why. So he argues that along with technology, the world is getting even better, even though most people would say the world is getting worse. He argues that the media is incentivized only to report the bad stuff and that our brains are really incentivized only to pay attention to bad stuff. And he paints a more optimistic picture of the recent past. So, for example, extreme poverty had dropped from 84% in 1820 to 8% today. Life expectancy has nearly tripled in that time. Homicide rates in Western Europe fell 97% since the 1300s. We're going back a ways, but it's come down. Our brains.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper isn't around anymore, thank goodness. So that's helping.
I mean, his body count wasn't that high compared to like.
That's true.
There's not that many serial killers anymore, which is good.
That's nice.
It's very hard to serial kill now, so point for Ray.
Appreciate that.
Points.
Yeah. Mariska Hargitay's out there.
The what?
Mariska Hargitay. She's like the Jack the Ripper, but for sex crimes.
Predators.
We know who she is.
She's Olivia
SVU,
Benson
dude.
from SVU. Yeah. She's played that character for like 30 years.
Yeah. Oh, it's fiction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I was like,
but
we know her name.
With Chris Hansen. In real life, we have Chris Hansen. So.
He is not fiction, thank goodness.
Oh, man. Okay, anyways, our brains are wired to map threats, so they deprioritize gradual improvement, which is what's been happening steadily in the background. So he argues that slow, gradual improvement of life will continue to increase exponentially as the price of computing continues to fall exponentially.
Okay, so some of his arguments that, like, the media incentivizes bad things and our brains don't, our brains remember things more optimistically. That's like kind of facts, right?
It's true.
How much of an argument is that at all?
Yeah.
That's just how it works. That, media is going to go for the scary gut punch. And when you look back on your life, you're going to remember the nice things instead of how crappy it was. So
and I think we talked about this once. There was like a study that they did about the health benefits of like these smoothies and like mindset towards like health benefits. And one group was told, I think, what was bad in the smoothie. This is a horrible anecdote that I have no actual information on, but it's fine. But one group was told like all the negatives and like what they needed to do to lose weight and like how hard it can be to lose weight. And then the other group was told about everything that was good about the smoothies that they were going to drink, and then like how good working out for you is, and da 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 da. And then they tracked them for over a month. And the group that had like good information, they lost like 5 to 10 pounds more per person than the group that had bad, like the negative information. And so like it's been proven, like mine's annoyingly. We even talked about it on a previous episode. Tony Robbins was right. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
hungry.
We wanted to be like, every time our parents are like, "Well, just focus on the good things and stop being so negative," and you're like, "Shut up, Mom."
I can't tell you how many times my parents told me to read the book The Power of Positive Thinking, and how many times I did, and how many times I wanted to punch that Norman Vincent Peale. Was that him, or is that?
I don't know.
Norman Vincent Peale in the face. Anyway,
but so Ray's right.
So Ray's right, and that's what's crazy is when he started talking about a lot of these things, I'm like, he's totally right. I could not have hacked it 100 years ago. Absolutely not. Like the medical things that have come our way, just the like standard of living, and I recognize I'm very stupid privileged. Even so, like things are better now, and I know people don't like hearing that, but that's true. That doesn't mean the problems we face are not unique to us and really shitty, but things are better now. And it's important to realize that.
I think that's what pisses people off is when people use like, look how good everything is as an argument to not fix the problems. And it's like, no, you got to still fix problems. But also, like, things are a lot better. There's a couple, just rattling off a few of the studies. There's a UK study that found that the public believed 24% of government benefits were claimed fraudulently. The actual number is 0.7%. And they also thought that 15% of girls under 15 got pregnant yearly. The real figure was 0.6. So we're just really bad at estimating how good and bad things are. And that gets ramped up by, narratives on all sides of the aisle.
Who's that dipshit from Farmington who's all over the news now? Nick Shirley, who's like,
I don't know who that is.
Oh my gosh, he's making headlines and like
Farmington,
Vance
Utah?
Yeah, he's from Farmington. JD
Fun.
Vance is like tweeting at him, like, keep up the good work. He said he exposed fraud in Minnesota daycares. And yeah, there was a little bit of fraud, but not near the amount that he claimed. And obviously he claimed it was all done by immigrants because, classic.
Yeah, but that's another example of what we're talking about with the media wanting to focus on the negative news. How many immigrants built the country we're living in? And like, keep it running. You know what I mean? Even immigrants that don't want to be here. Like, that's a huge number of what society is built by is immigrants that are positive, but it's just the focus on negative.
Even if you're not tuning into, right-wing news outlets, you're hearing the negative of the immigrants, of like what immigrants are doing everywhere you go. And that's just one example of where the media is doing us dirty because they want to sensationalize everything, but it's not realistic.
But things are pretty good.
Yeah. Honestly, things are pretty good in a lot. Like, no matter how you slice it, when you compare to like long enough ago, go back 100 years, like basically everything's better. There's some other things. Solar energy is doubling every 28 months and was at 3.6 of world electricity in 2021. At that rate, it only needs 4.8 more doublings to hit 100%. So that's cool. So timeline for like 100% solar energy is 2032. That seems really soon, but all of his predictions seem that way. The Earth does receive so much sunlight that we'd only need to capture 1/10,000th of it to power everything.
That's crazy.
So that's wild. That's a wild number. It's not that much. England's GDP per capita in 1400 was 105 pounds. 80 years later, exactly the same. In 1500, 1586 pounds. 80 years later, 1604. For most of history, progress was literally invisible within a human lifetime. But now that's totally changed. Things are like speeding up. Like exponentially, things are getting better. And I think he demonstrates that pretty well. I'll just say that chapter is a good one to read if you're feeling like down about the world. It did make me step back and be like, okay, this is like a breath of fresh air because all I'm hearing is bad all the time.
It was awesome. Some of the ones I want to talk about that stood out to me, because this is stuff I don't know that's happening because it's not being reported on widely, but like we're getting so much better at meat substitutes so that like taste actually like meat. And so that will cut down on farming. That will save land. That will save animals. We won't have to rely on that as much. The one that blew my mind was vertical gardening or vertical crop growing, where you just stack it up and the water drips naturally and it's just so much more efficient. There's all these cool things that I had no idea were happening that are like really, really, really good news. And if we could just lean into them, it could completely change things in 10, 15, 20 years. And so that was very encouraging to hear. So thank you, Ray, for that.
There you go.
We love it.
So he's trying to, I think, combat the bias towards negativity and be like, I'm saying things are going to get really good. Like, they really actually could get super good statistically.
They could. And we'll find a way to F it up and push the timeline back, I'm sure. But like, these things are really happening. These good things are really happening.
So let's talk about what he thinks is going to happen that's really good. And then we'll wrap it up and come back for part 2 next week. His predictions for the next 20 years do sound like science fiction. We've gone into some of them already, but it goes something like this. AI keeps getting better, enabling science to greatly increase the rate of scientific discovery, allowing us to rapidly move to renewable energy sources, including nuclear fusion instead of fossil fuels, discover the cure for essentially all diseases, dramatically increase the efficiency of food production through self-sustaining vertical farms, create so much abundance that conflicts over scarce resources don't really make sense anymore because it's like just everybody has the food and the clean water, and then crucially enable the manufacture of his favorite thing ever, which is nanoscale robots that go inside of us and keep our organs alive, implant electrodes in our brains so we can copy and augment our consciousness, and then over time replace our bodies and brains with better technology so we become super intelligent ubermensch.
Good.
Why do you gotta bring it back to? I loved all of that until he's like, and also nanobots.
Become super nanobot mensch cyborgs.
I have one more thing before we wrap up, because Mac, you brought up a good question, which was, is that really me in there? And that is like a fascinating question, because in freaking Invincible, the Mahler twins. They like don't know which one they're gonna be, and then when Robot clones himself, he's like, they have that whole exchange where the healthy body wakes up. You know what I'm talking about? That's like a problem where it's like, if you just were to create a digital copy of yourself, it's like, that's not you, right? But he does this whole thing that I was like, dang it, where he was like, well, if it replaces you piece by piece, like one part of your brain at a time, and then that
Oh,
brain
it's the
boots up
ship.
and it's functional, the
Totally.
ship of Theseus,
It's
dude.
yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if your brain is functioning, but now it's like your amygdala is a robot, but it feel like it's probably still you, and then it just replaces the whole thing piece by piece. It's like, I kind of think that's you.
It does just become you. I guess like if it's over time, I am just like a plebeian who's just like, no, we should be riding horses. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, it's not you. It's not because you already happened and you already exist. So the major changes that you make to your consciousness, it's like the argument for like alcoholism, right? Like when you're drunk and you're like, that's not me, because there's a different thing inside you causing different things to happen. That is, I mean, they've found like moderately true because it unlocks these things that are different about you, blah, 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 right? So in that kind of vein, if I augment my brain with a robot, the robot and me are not necessarily the same thing. But I mean, it's different between like a hand and like a brain function. Because like if my amygdala is a robot and always works the same, then the things that I'm afraid of are the same, and so then my anxiety level goes down, which changes me irreparably, personality wise. So then I cease to be me because the thing that operated that was a part of what made me is no longer a part, which is different than like if you lose a hand and you have a robot hand, you still are you. The hand is just different, but you're not changing the operating system, you're changing the hardware. So once you start changing the operating system, it's like it's a different system now, right?
Yeah, this hurts my brain for real.
I think the question is like, does the experience of your consciousness persist? And I think that question, you don't even have to get robots involved. No one can answer that. Like it's the hard problem of consciousness where it's like, are you even? Like I think that
are you
some
even
of
real?
well, it's not even like real or not real. It's like the whole like concept of a self might be pretty illusory. It's like the whole non-dual mindfulness thing. Like Sam Harris talks about this a lot, where he's like, the more you examine the like who's the thinker, the more you just realize it's like there isn't one.
Nothing
You know
in
what I
there,
mean? It's
yeah.
like you're producing this experience of consciousness all the time, and it's happening at the speed of consciousness, and so you don't really notice that there's no through line. So I'm just like, but it feels like when I woke up this morning, unless all of my memories were fabricated and put into me this morning, like I woke up in the bed that I went to bed in, and I've got the memories of that, and it feels like continuity. And I kind of do feel like if you were to replace the brain,
If you could
and then you get
recreate
into
that.
like, where is consciousness? Ray Kurzweil believes in panprotopsychism, which is that consciousness exists as a medium outside of the brain. And that's
Interesting.
just a thing you can believe. There's no real way to prove it true or not true. This is where like in the realm of faith here. But he does think that like there's a medium of consciousness and that everyone's consciousness is the same fabric, and that basically you could create a lot of copies of yourself and they would technically all be you.
They'd
That's
all
his
be connected to
theory.
that same fabric.
So does he believe in God?
He
Well, then
doesn't
that consciousness would be God then, right?
actually. He does have an answer to that. He was asked, what did he say?
Probably very vague.
He said something like, "Do you believe? Yeah, does God exist?" He said, "Not yet."
Oh, God.
Which is infuriating. I
Oh
hate
my
that.
gosh. Yeah, I
Shut
wouldn't
up,
expect
Ray.
anything.
All right, let's wrap this episode up. We got to do
Let's
part
wrap it
2.
up.
Ugh,
Well,
disgusting answer.
yeah, it's not good.
Pisses me off so bad.
I mean,
We'll
I'm
leave you.
a gross answer.
I think, all three of us, right? We're 3 for 3 on thinking like that makes us cringe. That's cringy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Awful.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page about that. But like, it just bothers me that like that there's so much of that like we're creating God thing. I'm like,
The
let's stop.
audacity. Yeah.
If that's what we're doing, that's never gone well.
There's just no story that's ever been told where it's like they created God and it worked.
Yeah. And he's like, thanks, guys. Here's 1,000 wishes. What the?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Go touch grass.
Maybe we've been here before trying to build a tower,
To
Oh,
talk
yeah, and
to
then we all couldn't
God.
talk to each other anymore because the
And then
God that
God's
we
like,
made started fucking with our language.
Yeah,
God.
maybe that story was just they were they
It's like
made
a-
AI, and
Yeah.
unfortunately it got retranslated too many times and turned into tower, and now it's useless to us.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my dumbass is like, that must have been a very big tower. I mean, it's bigger than the airplanes.
No,
no,
the tower
it's a
was-
metaphor.
The tower was AI.
Kyle.
It was AI. Yeah, apparently. Well, thank you, Ray Kurzweil. We'll be back for you next week. Thanks to our fake sponsor.
Chinese food. Chinese food. Thank you to Chinese food. Wherever you're from, whatever you are, you're always nice to have.
Yeah, I had some of the best Chinese food I ever had a few days ago. It was so good.
You've never been in a place where you couldn't have Chinese food, and that doesn't make any sense, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's really the international food. Incredible. Well, follow us on Spotify, Apple, Audible. Email us at bibliophools@gmail.com. Feel free to send us a request. We got emails, boys. I forgot to tell you, we got emails. We got a couple authors wanting to be on the pod.
Fuck
so
yeah.
we'll do
you kidding
that,
me?
hopefully. No, that's real.
Yeah. Let's talk through
very
that.
excited about it. Yeah, we'll
do a little
sync
team
up
meeting after
offline,
this.
as they
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll
And,
cut this.
We'll sync offline. Yeah, shut up. I'm done with work. Don't give me work talk right now, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
I just want to align.
Don't tell me you're gonna take this offline.
She's going to circle up a little bit later about that. And
Let's have a
parting
little powwow.
advice from me. I guess I did choose this book. You know what? Take it a day at a time. That's what I say. You got a day.
You got
Yeah.
one day before Evan comes to your house.
You got one
kills
day
you.
before I fucking kill you.
This episode of the
we'll see you
podcast brought
next
to you
week.
by The Ring.
All right. That was a good one.